Pep Roulette hit hard this week. A lot of captains failed, but somehow we survived. With 52 points, we still managed a green arrow, climbing up to 1.1 million overall. There were some positives at the back. Richards scored late with Palace's only goal, Mukiele picked up yet another assist despite the result, and O'Reilly finally got a start in the win against Wolves. The midfield was similar this week. Wilson scored a brilliant free kick to win the match, and Rodgers picked up an assist in their win against Newcastle, although captaining Saka definitely backfired. Up front, Watkins returned to scoring after successive blanks, while Calvert-Lewin was unlucky to hit the post. So overall, a good week, but now let's move on to the transfer plans for Game Week 24. We're finally getting our hands on Bruno Fernandes this week. Waiting this long has definitely backfired, with the price rises and returns he's produced through a difficult run of fixtures. Since returning from injury, Bruno has delivered in 3 consecutive matches, picking up 3 assists in a row. With Michael Carrick now in charge, he's clearly the focal point of everything United do in that number 10 role. To make this move, we're finally moving on from Phil Foden, who's been disappointing in recent weeks. To balance the transfer, we're also selling Bukayo Saka, who's struggled to justify his price recently and hasn't delivered consistently. We were really tempted by Enzo Fernandez, but with Palmer returning in midweek and picking up 2 assists, there's now a question mark over Enzo's role and attacking upside. Instead, we're opting for Bryan Mbeumo, who's been in fine form since returning from AFCON, scoring in back-to-back matches. With a favourable run of fixtures and flying under the new manager, he looks like the safer pick with serious haul potential. So, who are you opting for this week? Let us know your transfer plans in the comments below. With the transfer decisions sorted, let's take a look at the squad ahead of the Game Week 24 deadline. In goal, we're sticking with Raya once again after last week's result. Arsenal have conceded just 9 away goals this season, which is actually the lowest in the league, so we're hopeful he can return this week against Leeds. Gabriel blanked last week after 4 consecutive returns, but he now faces a Leeds side who've scored just 2 goals in their last 2 home matches. He's also returned in 3 of his last 4 away games, which is encouraging. Despite Sunderland conceding in consecutive matches, Mukiele delivered back-to-back assists. He now faces Burnley at home, who've scored just 2 goals in their last 3 away games. Palace haven't been great defensively recently, and the departure of Mark Guéhi hasn't helped. However, that does make Richards more of a threat from set pieces. He travels to Forest, who've scored just once in their last 3 home matches. Van Hecke hasn't been the most consistent for returns, but he has delivered in his last 2 home matches, which is reassuring. He does face a tough test this week against an Everton side that have been strong away from home. In midfield, Rodgers returned to form with an assist last week, and now faces a Brentford side without a win in their last 2 matches, conceding 5 goals in that period. He could continue that form. Harry Wilson is in excellent form with 3 returns in his last 4 matches. In that run, he's scored 3 goals, more than any other Fulham player. Up front, Ollie Watkins also returned to the scoresheet last week. He leads Villa for expected goal involvement at 10.1 and now faces a Brentford side coming off 2 consecutive defeats. So, Erling Haaland was surprisingly benched last week by Pep, which, honestly, is a bit of a concern, especially with Marmoush stepping up and scoring. Haaland has just 1 return in his last 6 matches, but now he's up against a Spurs side that's dealing with some key defensive injuries, so this could be the week he gets back to form. With Haaland's recent uncertainty, we're actually considering Bruno Fernandes for the captaincy this week, especially since Fulham haven't managed to keep a clean sheet in their last 5 matches. What about you? Who's your captain this week, and what's your team looking like for Game Week 24? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for Game Week 24. If you're new here, go ahead and hit subscribe for weekly FPL tips, join our mini league linked below, and yeah, smash that like button. Don't forget to follow us on X and Instagram. We'll be posting our final team just before the deadline.